It's time then, FaZe Clan taking on Team Liquid in our second semi-final live from Chicago. It is the Intel Extreme Masters, its first adventure here in the Midwest. It's traveled across the globe, 70 different destinations across the globe. We find ourselves in a nice, brisk, cold perhaps, Chicago, but we're safely indoors and we are enjoying ourselves some Counter-Strike. The first game set the precedent though, Fnatic pushing all the way to a third map versus the Titans that are Astralis. The Danes, though, locked in for the grand final, and now they need an opponent. I have chopped and changed the desk just a little bit, swapped an Australian for a Finn. We do have none other than Lurpus joining us alongside Pimp. Jacob, have you recovered?
The short answer is no.
You look like shell-shocked, you know, that was a serious cream pie.
I'm still in shock.
Yeah, but you cleaned the glasses, that's important.
Will he ever truly recover?
That's
the real question.
We were sitting there watching, I was like, he's not taking his glasses off? What is this maniac doing?
I figured it would be a nice little twist, and mistakes were made, so, you know, you live and you learn, Alex.
You certainly do, and I hope to learn a lot during this segment about how you think this one is going to be shaping up, because FaZe taking on Team Liquid, it does sound like a dream for Counter-Strike fans, especially, you know, we said this was happening at the Major. Coming into Chicago, it seems like FaZe has just been a little bit lost in Team Liquid. And I want to understand exactly why, Tommy. This is the roster that could. This is the roster that people were suggesting could lift the Major trophy. They're stepping into a semi-final. Where is the asterisk? Where is the doubt coming from?
I think people just expected more from them ever since that Mousesports win. Up until then, you know, everything was looking great. They looked like they were going to be in form. Obviously, they're a team that really rely on individual skill. They don't have a very strong leader. Nitro's doing a good job, but they're not highly tactical as a team, despite having Zeus as a coach. And, you know, they just haven't really been firing on all cylinders. Something's been missing so far.
Certainly has. I mean, it was a loss versus Fnatic, who we've gone on to see, Jacob, just how influential they have been. I mean, is it really that much of a mark on their record, seeing how far Fnatic have flown?
I wouldn't worry too much about that, no, because as you said, Fnatic have been playing hearts out this tournament. Also, it was a game where they knew that if we win this one, we're going up against Astralis in a direct semi-final, and at that point, everyone is fearing Astralis. I'm not standing here and saying Liquid lost on purpose, but when you have that in the back of your mind, that you know that you're going to face Astralis, even if you win the game, you maybe not play to your full extent, you maybe not go that extra mile in order to secure the win. You know, I wouldn't be too worried. I think they still beat Mousesports, and Mousesports were playing well this tournament, so Liquid can still go on and win this tournament and put on a great showing here against FaZe.
And we'll continue that conversation after we focus on their opponents as well, FaZe Clan. I mean, this is a roster that everyone who buys a ticket for the Intel Extreme Masters hopes to see on the stage, because they've got pizzazz. They just certainly bring an air of style to the Counter-Strike stage. What is your expectations of FaZe Clan coming in?
It's really hard to tell. They're one of those teams that you look at the roster and you just think like, oh, these guys are bound to make a deep tournament run. They're bound to be at least competing for a final spot, if not the championship. But, you know, they've kind of been hot and cold the last couple of months. I think Epicenter win probably brought them back a little bit closer to, you know, true title contention. But there's still a little bit of something missing. And part of that puzzle, obviously, is, you know, Carrigan saying himself, he's kind of on the chopping block. And that just, you know, makes you kind of wonder if FaZe is truly 100% there.
No, absolutely.
It really depends on what FaZe that turns up. If it is a FaZe with confidence, then I have high confidence myself in that we're going to have a great game. Whereas if it's FaZe with lack of confidence, then we're going to have a poor showing for them, simple as it is. I do find faith in the fact that Rain just said in an interview, I think it was yesterday or today actually, that they have restored faith in themselves. They feel confident themselves now, and that's a very important thing. You often hear us analysts talk about, you know, confidence, it's such a big thing, it matters so much, and you don't know, like, when you're a player yourself, you play the matchmaking games, Alex, you don't really, like, get that feeling of feeling confidence or inconfidence. You may not be better at the game than you are, simple as it is. But for these top players, it's so small things that differs from being a top player and just being, you know, a godlike player. So if you have confidence in yourself, if you have that 1 or 2 extra% going for you, well, you have a FaZe that could win this tournament.
It's like that fantastic story of NIP in their glory days, making sure Get Right got everything he wanted. It was McDonald's and ice cream. You get McDonald's and ice cream, you're going to have a good performance out of Chris.
Simple as that.
It's as simple as that. And I think that is a conversation worth having, because Tommy, a recent kind of announcement was made by the FaZe guys in an interview just after their fall at E-League Premier, where they suggested that Olaf has rejoined the team at the wrong time. Have you put much thought into what that could allude to?
Well, I mean, I think they had a pretty good run with who did they have?
Yeah, Croman.
Yeah, Croman, yeah. I mean, they looked pretty good. It seemed like everything was going, and then for some reason, they kind of took a step back with Olaf. It seemed like, even though obviously, you know, he's a fantastic player, I actually think arguably he's the second best player on that team, even though he doesn't really have that role, doesn't get that number of kills in this roster, but they just haven't really been able to make things click, and part of the reason is they had to play without him for such a long time that when you play tournament after tournament and put in lots of practice and matches with a new player, you invariably make changes to how everybody else plays, and it's no longer just a case of bringing someone back
just
and playing.
do what you used
exactly.
to. Yeah.
You can't really do that because the other players have evolved their styles, and it's not so easy to just plug and play again.
You have to catch up with that evolution, and we will continue that train of thought. But as we do have them on the screens, Team Liquid, where we want to take this next, because Taco joining this roster does seem to have provided a degree of stability and a degree of constant reproduction of these top 4 finishes.
It was a perfect pickup when Taco came into this team. I've been playing with them myself. It's my ex-team. Last time I played as an active pro, and it was for Team Liquid. What we lacked back then was leadership and character on the team. We didn't have any players who could step out in the big moments and be the vocal leader of the team. Now, you have Zeus being the coach for the team, and he's a very vocal, I wouldn't say in-game leader, but he's a very vocal leader for the team. And the problem with that is that you don't have that on the server. You have him behind you, but you don't have it on the server. Nitro is not a typical in-game leader. He's sort of like forced into the role. He's, as you said, doing a good job, but he's not a glaive type of in-game leader or an exist type of in-game leader. He's doing it because nobody else can do it. So getting Taco added a little bit more character to the team, added a little bit more stability to the team, and a little bit more maturity to the team. And that's exactly what Liquid needed at the time.
And it's certainly been working out wonderfully for them. Now, first they beat LDLC in that best of 3, which I think got a couple of people worried. They nearly lost the whole series. It was they had match point against them, but managed to overcome that strive, quite similar to Astralis' storyline. But coming from bad to perhaps worse, they're going up against FaZe Clan now, and I mean that's a different kettle of fish. Jacob, I cut you off earlier, but you were echoing some of the sentiments of Tommy regarding Olofmeister.
Yeah, it's more like the case that as they said themselves, he came in at the wrong time, and sort of like to alert to the whole situation is they were playing with Chroman and then Exist for, I think it was a period of 2 or 3 months, and you get to a point where you're a player and they didn't practice like throughout those 2 or 3 months. So they practiced a little bit up to the tournaments, but they were still hoping that, okay, Olofmeister may come back for the next tournament, or the next tournament, or the next tournament. So they're holding a little bit back on the practice with Chroman and with Exist. And you can only go for that long without practicing on a top level, without losing some of that edge and losing some of that skill. So it's not necessarily Olofmeister being the problem, but the other 4 guys who really didn't put in the hours and really hadn't had the mindset for him coming back at the time he did.
Yeah, I imagine there's a motivation loss as well.
Definitely.
I mean, the thing is Olof's going to come in hungry as hell. He's been away from the game. He's been focused on his personal issues, and then he comes back and he's like, right, I'm ready to play. I've literally been asked, are you ready to play? There's a lot of thought that goes into saying yes. He says yes, and then his team's not with him. Perhaps now, as you've already said, I can't remember who said it here on the panel, but you know, FaZe said that they're feeling the vibe now. Rain, I think it was Jacob who alluded to it. So that is exciting. That is an exciting prospect. We have FaZe back on form. Another team to add to our beautiful gallery of top-tier Counter-Strike players. Now, we have to talk maps. And I think this is going to be an intriguing conversation. I just want to pick your brains, both of you. We'll start with you, Tommy. Have you put much thought into how the vetoes are going to shape up?
Well, we know the vetoes.
Oh, the
first round vetoes, we know,
so
because they obviously have maps, both of them they don't play. It's going to be Nuke and Train going out of the pool. I think if I'm Liquid, I'm probably picking Inferno, even though FaZe is also pretty good on that. FaZe's CT side has always been a little lackluster. They kind of like to go for the risky plays. They play, you know, overstacking the bomb sites. They double up quite a bit, I think, sometimes to their detriment. I think Nico would be a little better off sometimes in the B side, particularly with a rifler. I think for FaZe, I mean, they just have more places to go. Probably Mirage, that's their bread and butter still.
They've been playing it an awful lot this tournament.
There's a room for discussion there, because I would say, yes, Mirage is probably FaZe's best map, and that's where they would go if they just fully believe in their own abilities. Whereas Liquid, they're decent on Mirage from time to time. They have their ups and downs, but a map that Liquid is not playing well right now is Overpass. We saw that against Fnatic, and we saw that against LDLC, I believe, as well, where they lost. So if I were FaZe, and if I were just playing a little bit with my brain here, I would definitely go into Overpass and just make sure you get that 1-0 down, and that's it.
Yeah, and then you already got that huge leg up, and there goes the Train and Nuke. Tommy the Prophet. Nice and easy this time, as of course both teams have their insta bans. I haven't seen a single Nuke out of FaZe and not a single Train out of Liquid. So Inferno is picked. Tommy's head and ego is growing larger and larger. We'll see where this one goes next. Okay, there you go.
I think that's a mistake. I really think they should pick Overpass. I think Liquid have looked so lost on Overpass for such a long time that if you don't pick that, you know, it must be either because FaZe are really, really believing in their own Mirage, or they've seen something we haven't.
Yeah, and actually, given the choice of Overpass and Cash, they seem to disagree. They remove it and do opt for Cash. So an interesting turn of events. No Dust 2. So we do get our Inferno, Mirage, and Cash as our 3. Does that veto influence exactly where you thought this one was going, Jacob?
No, I still think it's going to be... I actually think FaZe is going to win this one, unfortunately. Yeah, okay. I do. I think a FaZe with confidence is a FaZe you don't want to face. It's funny enough, but especially for Team Liquid, they haven't been looking at the same level they were at the major. There seems to be some inner workings on the team as well that's not going too well. Don't want to talk too much about it, but Twist is apparently not feeling at 100% either, you know, health-wise. So there's some small things that right now is not going in the way of Team Liquid. Whereas for FaZe, it's the first time in a long, long while we heard them say themselves, we're feeling confident, and that's also probably why they picked Mirage. You know, they're going to go with their own guts, and they want to make sure that they win in their own way, which FaZe always have done.
I imagine, of course, you know, Nico has an influence on that veto as well. I mean, he was the one over there. He has taken the leadership role, and I mean, that's a whole different change. If you're Team Liquid, this isn't the same FaZe calling that you're used to playing against on the big stage.
And that's, by the way, why I think they went for these map picks. Karrigan is kind of known for, you know, just kind of throwing wrenches in the other teams. He likes to take risks. So I think if he was the one doing the veto, he would have done exactly what Jacob said, which is take an overpass. But Nico, you know, he's the kind of guy who relies on the skill factor. He likes to play maps where they're not going to just, you know, kind of fall apart because of lack of structure, lack of tactics. And also one thing to consider is Rain. He's been playing well here, but up until now, the last couple of months, he's kind of had a rough patch, and he's someone that they really had to rely on for overpass. So I think these are all maps that Nico particularly really likes. I gotta say, I like these maps for Liquid.
You think he's picked? Oh, okay.
I like these maps for Liquid.
Okay, I mean, explain your working. Liquid, their successes have been primarily on cash. In fact, it's one of their highest win percentages in the last 3 months. So I suppose that's a given, or at least a part of your conversation piece to say Liquid win this.
I really think that Liquid is just better on Inferno. I think the only way FaZe win Inferno is if they just have a really good CT side with lots of risky stacks and someone just having a really big game. I think Liquid has a really good CT side. Twists is probably the best player, I think, on CT side of Inferno, at least top 3 in the world. And their T side is just marvelous on Inferno. So I think Inferno they have in the bag. I think Mirage, they're not favored, but they have a chance on that as well. And I just think that they're really good on cash. I think it's a map that suits their playing style. And, you know, I think they might just bring it home here for the Americans.
I think there's a chance you're right, but I do want to say that the only reason why it could be close, like if you think about it, FaZe when they were playing Inferno against Astralis, the only reason why they got over that hurdle and actually ended up winning the game, it was Nico. He was dropping 29 frags winning the first, I think it was 22 rounds.
He's feeling himself.
He was feeling himself, and without him, they wouldn't even got close to beat Astralis in that map. So we need to see another performance, individual performance like that, going up against a team that likes to play as a team and like to play off each other. You can't do that every single game, and that's why I think, and I agree with you, that Inferno is going to be a super, super tough one for FaZe.
Okay, it sounds like we are getting closer to the kickoff of our second semi-final. So we can't start a semi-final without our semi-final team. So Chicago, I hope you give them a warm welcome. It's time to get semi-final 2 underway.
Being instantly in top 4 is an amazing feeling. First of all, you have one extra day to practice, so you can prepare for the next opponent you play. And that's I would say, a big advantage compared to the other teams that we will face.
We're very confident going into a match, like any match. Like, we're going to play our game and also have a little bit of prep work going into it and create a game plan and stuff like that.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. So we don't really care who will we face. We need to play our own game. We need to prepare and beat them.
I think that team is consisted of 5 of the best players in the world, in my opinion. Nico is definitely on fire right now, especially this tournament. But like, you have Guardian, Olaf, like all legends of the game, and you can't really count any of them out in the match.
Especially in the US, the crowd is crazy. I love the North American crowd. Coming to this part of the world is amazing, and playing on the stage, it's something you want to. So it feels amazing, and hopefully we will be in the final.
We're gonna try to bring it back here and win the trophy in front of the home crowd.
Right then, Chicago, it's time for our second semi-final. It is going to have to go some to be anywhere close to what that first one was. It was so great, all the rounds, all the maps, and we had that finish, and we now know that Astralis will be playing in the grand final. Now, I want to taste the atmosphere here, 'cause it's been great so far. First time I've been to the city. I want a hearty roar. Are you ready? Now, that was good, but it was a little wet. So, before we bring the teams out, are you ready? That is what I like. So then, second semi-final, a best of 3. The first team, it's FaZe. to find out as they take on a team from North America, the Wintrust Arena. Please welcome Liquid! Tournament, this lineup gets closer to that complete performance that we know they're capable of. It's going to be a corker of a second semi-final. I want to know your thoughts. Are FaZe winning this? So you think Liquid are winning this? I wasn't sure. Is it FaZe? Is it Liquid? Are you ready to get it on? Let's get it on!
So the crowd certainly has their favorite here in North America. No surprises there, but they go up against a terrifying opposition. You have Bosnia represented in Nico. You have the Norwegian in Rain. You've got Denmark, who are taking over Counter-Strike every single time we find ourselves on a desk in Carrigan. It is a multinational roster. Of course, the Slovakian Orpa, whose name is synonymous with success on that Zoom banger. And of course, Olof Meister, the Swede, one of the nations that truly took to Counter-Strike first. It is not only a multinational roster, but they go up against the Canadians as well. Don't forget, North America represent all facets of it, and that Brazilian twist in Taco. We've got a lot of nationalities, 8 different nationalities on that stage.
We do. That's one of the cool things that's happening in Counter-Strike in the last couple of years is, you know, with more funding coming in, teams have kind of started looking abroad to see if they can find better fitting pieces. And people are starting to realize that not only is the language barrier not an insurmountable problem, but you can actually get over the issues pretty quickly. And that's why we're seeing more and more international teams and more teams just picking one player outside of the region. For example, Taco here, playing for Liquid.
Precisely, and I mean, if we'd have had this conversation just 2-3 years ago, Jacob, you'd have laughed at me if I said there will be 5 different nationalities on a team all speaking their second language.
I definitely would.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there was the financial support to make it happen back then.
True.
I don't think there was the know-how of how to make it happen, and that's what's so cool about not only Counter-Strike, but esports in general. We're involved so fast, and we're involved all the time.
Yeah, and FaZe are a living example, a gaming example that shows just how far it can stretch. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes down. A couple of requests from me, and I'll ask the same of you. I just want to see Nico doing what Nico does best. I wouldn't mind that Desert Eagle Blaze coming out to play. I want to see Twist just tapping heads on that T side. He does absurd things. What's on your checklist for this semi-final, Jacob?
I want to see Twist, and I want to see Leash play as well as they've done so far in this tournament. Without those two going off, there's no way that Liquid can match the firepower of FaZe. I have no doubt that Nico is going to come in with some sick rounds. He's just, you know, a catalyst behind this FaZe lineup. And I also do want to see Rain play well, because as you said, he is like the main guy for this team to work. When he's playing well, and you flank him with Guardian and Nico on one of each sides, then you have one of the best teams and one of the most strong in terms of firepower in the entire world.
It's the reason we refer to Rain as the turret. I mean, he is terrifying when on form. Tommy, anything to add to your shopping list for the semi?
I really want to see Naf play well. I think he's the X factor a lot of the time for Liquid. You usually see Elige playing well, Twist playing well, Taco does his job, Nitro does his job. I think Naf is the one player who often puts Liquid over the top.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get closer and closer to game time. The players taking to their seats. Our first map, as we've already determined, is going to be an intriguing Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. We got to see that one. Not as a third map, of course, not get to see that decider. But let's start with our first map. We'll be back in between. So, Tommy, talk to me. Inferno, you've already said that you think that Liquid have got some of the best players to ever touch the game on Inferno. You think they're going to completely close this one out?
I'm not sure if it's, completely closing it out. The thing is, they do have a very good T side, and FaZe has always struggled on their CT side. It's a map they like to play, because you just get to take a lot of aim duels, but the problem is their B bomb side has never really worked out. In a similar fashion to what just happened with Fnatic. It's just a very hard bomb side to defend, and you kind of have to take a lot of gambles on the CT side. You can't just play default positions and expect to win against a talented team, and Liquid are just very good at, just coordinating the way they attack both bomb sides, and Zeus, I think, is someone who's just perfected almost that map.
So a wobbly B site from FaZe on the defensive side, Jacob. I mean, how does that make sense when you've got so much firepower? Sure, you just put 2 people who are good at clicking heads and let them do their thing.
I think that's why Inferno is one of the most entertaining maps to watch right now, because it requires both that you're individually good, yet you can hold your own. For example, Magic's boy or Twist for that matter in the pit, he doesn't get a lot of help. That's all him individually. Whereas on the B-bomb side, you require your teammates to flash for you, you require your teammates to bait for you, or you require a smoke to land at a certain point at a certain time. There's a lot of team play going into this map of Inferno, and that's exactly why Liquid are such a strong team on Inferno. Zeus, as you said, he sort of like perfected the map. He sort of like made Liquid play as a team on the map, and I think that's why it's going to be super tough for FaZe to get anything done. It requires a Nico to go off. It requires a Rain to do some sick entry fragging, or a Guardian to just blow up the server. But you can't count on that individually, like, ability all the time. So, you know, giving from a point where we stand right now, it's clear cut that Liquid are the favorites. But if a Nico happens, or if a Guardian happens, then what are you going to do to defend it?
I'm just going to let the crowd give us their analysis.
I think it's obvious who the crowd favors.
They might be making their prediction.
The only thing that worries me a little bit is what sometimes tends to happen in Liquid in big games in front of crowds. And that's, I think, is the one X factor we haven't touched on at all. Okay. Hopefully that's not an issue here. And I mean, they have gotten better with their nerves over time, but that is something that still creeps up on them sometimes, I think.
Is it really still the monkey on their back? I mean, we actually had Taco talking to the camera crew saying that their sports psychologist has been doing great work, and that, you know, the Liquid choke is a meme for the past. I mean, Jacob.
You could say the same about FaZe though and Inferno. I can't remember the amount of times they lost, you know, in a very clear.
Bringing that major back.
What was the tournament? The E-League Atlanta Major where they played Cloud9?
15-11 T-side with full money control.
We've seen it before, you know. So FaZe, they have the same stigma to them as well. I don't think it's going to be a factor here, especially not considering it is the first map. As a player, you often go into the first map a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more open-minded to what can happen. It only gets down to the wire when it's the third map. So neither team should be feared by that statistic, and neither team should you be playing nothing else than great Counter-Strike and just feel free.
The only point I would add to that point, Alex, is that Taco is the one player who definitely doesn't have issues with nerves. So, you know, hearing that from him, it might be what he thinks, but it might not be what everybody else on that team thinks, because I think he's, you know, he's got a little more wins on his back, I think.
Yeah, Counter-Strike, such a gorgeous game. It's just 5 individuals all working in perfect unison to pursue not only a chunk of change, $250,000, but also to have their name inscribed on that legendary Intel Extreme Masters trophy. It has traveled the world, gentlemen, and now it happens to land itself here in Chicago.
Really, so, 70 cities, by the way? That's a real stat?
Yeah, 70 different locations. That's mad, isn't it? I mean, it's what's it been, like 13 years I saw in the video? That's
started 2007 or 2006 was the first IEM.
My goodness.
One of those.
And now 2018. We certainly weren't filling out arenas in 2007.
No, we were not.
No. It's good to see the love of the game growing as much as the crowd is. And now, as we get ever closer, it sounds like we're just going to be resolving a quick issue on the stage. We can start to play my favorite game, and that is, of course, name the player who has the most influence on this game, this map. So first it's Inferno and Twists immediately. I mean, is this because of his solo plays on the CT side, or does he bring some flair to the T as well?
I think he's the best player on Liquid, period, and I think he's one of the best CT side Inferno players. So I think those two put together, and the fact that I think Liquid are slightly favored to win the map, I think he's going to be the most important player here.
Okay, and on the other side of things, I mean, you can list anyone from FaZe, to be fair. All have their moments, Jacob, but explain your working as well.
I mean, it would be easy to say Nico, it would be easy to say Guardian, Rain for that matter as well, and I do believe Rain is the catalyst behind the FaZe lineup. When he's playing well, then FaZe is playing well. But I want to go with Kerrigan this time around. I think he's a guy who needs to play well. I think he is a guy who needs to prove a lot of stuff. That's one of the storylines we also touched upon. If they don't do well here, if they lose to Liquid now in a fashionable manner, this could be his last tournament playing for FaZe Clan. So he needs to do well, both as an individual, but also for the team of FaZe.
I mean, Kerrigan's conversation is such an intriguing one. I think it's worth exploring, given the extra time. I mean, this is a player who has led this team to so many trophies, so many top 4s, and yet faith lost in an in-game leader who's experienced the same thing before. Of course, not forgetting Astralis, you know, under a different name, were led by this man to greatness and back again. And so therefore, I mean, you know, have you put thought into, Tommy, what's happened with this Kerrigan situation?
I mean, they've had a lot of terrible losses, particularly on the T side of the map in big finals previously. So I think it's just a case where, you know, they have insane star power on that team. They have more firepower than arguably any team in Counter-Strike history. So if that's not why you're losing, then you gotta think internally. It's what we're doing with that firepower. So I think
fingers.
Yeah, I think the fingers get pointed at him regardless of whether it's his fault, and frankly, just impossible to know from the outside, right? Like we just don't know how the team works in the mid round in the close games.
And I think
we're not in their comms. We can't hear the situations.
No, exactly. And I think there's two routes to go around this. Like one of the routes is the way that you team, Tommy, did at MIBR when Fallen had a period where he didn't want to call. There's no doubt that Fallen is one of the best in-game leaders in the world, and he should be on a team in-game leading, period. Yeah. Cold Zero took over that role for a month or for two, and that gained him some experience, you know, and that's a good thing. Gaining experience, getting some inspiration in order to, as we see, in order to progress as an in-game leader and get some new ideas, that's a good thing. Whereas for Kerrigan, I feel they're going the other route. He's, you know, now being stripped away from all responsibilities in terms of being an in-game leader, and he's not looking to get back into that role as far as I understand from the outside, which I think is a problem, because I think it would be a good thing if Nico were taking over the in-game leader role for a month or for 2 months, you know, to give Kerrigan a little break, get some new ideas, get some new inspiration, exactly as he did when he left Astralis or got kicked from Astralis and joined FaZe, because we all saw how that FaZe evolved within the first 2 or 3 months when he was inspired, when he was feeling fresh and all that kind of stuff. So if I were FaZe, I would give him a little break here, but put him back in the role, you know, and let him work his magic.
Yeah, Nico's been working his magic to get them here, and it looks like it's time for the magic show to begin. Chicago! Our second semi-final, FaZe Clan taking on Team Liquid, live from the Wintrust Arena, and 2 beautiful voices to fill your ears. It's Henry G and Sadakist.
That's right, Alex. It's time. The moment you've all been waiting for. FaZe Clan will take on Team Liquid here. It's going to start on Inferno, and it looks like we're ready to get into the action. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give you everything you've got here. This should be one for the ages. FaZe Clan versus Team Liquid. Make some noise! Round 1 will begin. It's a T-side start for Liquid. They've got the smokes, the Molotovs, the flashbangs here. Suggest it'll be a slow approach, more of a default here with an execution towards the end. And Nico, he has looked incredibly dangerous this tournament. He's looking to find headshots at the very beginning of this round.
With that execution, keep in mind that Kerrigan brings the kit to the round as well. So if that's successful and they get the bomb down, there's still a chance FaZe can play the retake with time, with precision, as Nico looks down toward alt mid. No one peeking in that position as of yet. Taco is spotted, but in turn gets information that Rain wants to play aggressive toward the apartments. He'll back off immediately. So really just looking for map control on either side so far.
It's all very slow-paced as anticipated, but as you can see, Team Liquid now moving over towards the banana side of the map. It's just all off Meister to defend. He's on top of the barrels right now. Slight off angle there. He's looking for 1 kill and then falling back. But that flashbang's designed for that position. You'll see him just take that right to the face. Has to fall back to a more defensive line at this point. And this is Team Liquid setting themselves up for a classic execution towards B. Was he smokes towards CT spawn, 1 towards the coffins, a Molotov either at first oranges or at the new boxes there, and they're going in together. It's up to Olof to defend, but luckily has got a teammate with him, but not for long, Matt.
RDN gets nothing done. Olaf does pick back out new boxes, and he's got a rotation. Kerrigan gets there before they even take him down, which means he could have come in unexpectedly, but great shots from Elise. And Taco through the smoke again. Elise, Nico on the flank. Fast kill on the Taco, but he can't deny the bomb plant. That's Liquid with the first.
Nice slow build up there. Exactly what we want to see from Liquid. Calm round, didn't make any mistakes, making sure they always had the bunny system in full effect, meaning you have a friend with you at all time that can answer back. And Elise, he's gone for an early Krieg here, Matt. Straight off the bat, he's going to be bringing that out. We've got 2 rifles in total, and they are going to see the force buy in response from FaZe as well. Inferno is one of the few maps where you consistently force buy in the second round because you have a little bit of extra cash, and the CZ and smoke combo is actually quite potent, especially Guardian on this scout, but Taco's there, beats him to the punch. We're going to have an early 5-on-4 in favor of Liquid here.
Krieg this early, it's the earliest one we've seen. Usually a little bit later in the half, they start to bust those out. Great shot again from Nico, showing off precision with the deagle. He'll take Nap down immediately. Nico starts to clear out Banana. Bomb still down toward T stairs, so no indication of which way Liquid wants to go, and certainly indicative of the fact that they just want to clear the map. Nico's switched sides, by the way. He's rotated all the way over toward the arch instead. So if they look for him and step too far, chance he can do more. That nade's going to do some decent damage on a twist as well. Been gathered for a moment, brought a little closer. Still a smoke for Rain to work with as well on the CT side, which means he can certainly slow things down if they continue trying to probe out the A site. Nico really wants to make this deagle sing.
He's already found 1 headshot of him. It looks like his teammates will be dropping on the other side of the map. That might give the call now for Liquid to fall back and execute in the exact same manner they did before. They have the 2 smokes, they have the flashbangs. Don't even really need them, to be fair. It's just Olofmeister defending by himself. If he somehow gets 2 kills there, I'll be extremely surprised, to be honest. If he gets the first, not the second, that's about all he was worth. And that should be the round now, as we have just Rain and Nico. Obviously no kits here. They've got an HE. All they can really do is either boost and spawn and push together in ruins.
Yeah, absolutely, and the benefit of this is there's still 3 players alive. You're going to force some reinvestment, so 3 on 2 seems like a reasonable odds, but the problem is you've got head armor on Nico, you've got armor for Rain, and you can certainly build this up, sure, with kills, but you also want to make sure you're maximizing that bonus, which is into its 3rd round as we head into round 3 with the new meta. So Nico still wants to give it a chance. 2 kills for him so far on the Deagle, and decent damage to Twist. That's tradable. Elise is in the open as well, just barely transitions far enough away. Nade thrown at the wrong time. Elise closes it out and keeps the creep.
And they're fine with that. They're on the T side right now. They're up against a full eco next. Sure, it was right down to the wire. As long as you don't lose the round, though, you're fine. They can actually recover this nicely. They can actually just bring out SMGs, MAC-10s, all that sort of thing. We have got a bit of a technical issue right now, so we're just going to talk over these highlights and have a look at what happened here. Nico with the shot from Hell to kick the round off, and it did come down to the 1v1 in the end. We're right back into the action, though. You can see it's the full eco now, just a Deagle purchased by Nico. He's got a little bit more money than his teammates, so spent $700 on that. And we'll see whether this round yields any sort of fruit for FaZe. I doubt it. If they get a couple of kills, that'll be fine. But Liquid almost certain for the 3-0 here.
They're still starting to work with that Deagle back toward Nico. He wants to play today. Not timid at all with his positioning so far with the pistol. Elise scoped it, seen it. That is perfect usage of the creep. Not an easy shot to catch off Kerrigan with just a pixel to fire at, but manages it. Liquid will take over all of Banana, and it doesn't look like that will be the end of it, because all 5 there, it's certainly Reed's B site all over it. Olaf alone. Bit of a rotation early for both Guardian and Nico. For whatever it's worth. Down on CT means that Deagle won't be able to pick them off on the way through, and Nico's already gone toward Ruins instead as it is. Trying to spot, Taco gets the kills. Another round going the way, so 3-0 of 4 Team Liquid, but as you say, that bonus builds up and FaZe want to take full advantage of it in the next round.
Let's see what they can do with it. Looking for just 1 kill here. That would be a consolation prize at least, as Guardian might have to fall back and disallow any sort of cash, but it's the MAC-10 that finds him. That's a bit of a problem now, because Nafly's going to keep that. He's got 5K in the bank, and there might be a few players without helmets here going forward. We'll see which way they're inclined going forward. Is the orb coming out early? It is indeed. Olofmeister purchases it along with Guardian. They've gone for a double orb set up early here on Inferno. A very viable one, but at the same time, you have to remember Liquid have a MAC-10 here. They might be going for something super quick. Nice quick execution off the bat and make those AWPs almost irrelevant. We'll see what happens as Kerrigan brings out the scoped weapon on the CT side as well. Interested to see what kind of pace they want to set here. Do they want to get aggressive on the CT side and try and open things up, or wait for the first move to come through? 2 players heading quickly towards the top of Banana. The flashbangs are good. The follow-up shot from Olofmeister does not connect. They have full B control, and all it cost them that was a Molotov and a flashbang. They've got the majority of their utility remaining now, and full B control.
Olaf forced to rotate super early back toward Ruins. Meanwhile, Guardian, the second off, he's still forward of the mark. Kerrigan, as expected, brings out the AUG early on. Guardian's trying to look for that pixel shot toward Boiler. Can't get it, smoked off, has to fade away. So it's the first smoke they've used. Still 4 others, and as you said, they've already got B control. They left Nap there to ensure that no one would retake it from the CT side, and now they have the mid wall as well. They've left the bomb to make sure that trades would not cost them anything dearly, not leave that in enemy territory. Taco's got some vision inside of the site as well. They're gonna set for this. At least they thought they were. Taco certainly was up for it. Didn't even elect to throw his smoke as a fake at this point in time, so it's all back over. This will be full execution. Olaf on Coffins, needs to hit a shot before it blooms, and there's a chance he will, because Nitro's gonna go the second they're thrown. Olaf drops the ball. This time it is forward of the mark. They've got to go on it. Olaf's aware of it, tries to get a lineup preemptively, but instead it's Kerrigan that twists and finds on the way through.
My God, Olofmeister so close to hitting some of these shots, but only 1 kill found. The bomb's planted. This becomes incredibly dangerous now. Oh, what? Out of nowhere! The double kill comes in, and all of a sudden there's a chance.
That's optimistic. Firing the whole time, he manages to get 2 twists. He knows he's got to pull this back. Takes Guardian. Wait, stepped out wide, though, and Twist was not ready for it. He's doubled up. Elige goes down, and they'll get the defuse. What a shot from Olaf. You can see him laughing about it. He didn't even expect that to happen.
That's insane. The fact he gets so many missed shots through the smoke, you think he's done for, then the double kill out of nowhere. My God, a little bit fortunate, but still epic there from Olaf Meister. That's exactly what FaZe Clan needed here. That's a right smile on his face there, as we will continue to have the double orb set up for Guardian and Olaf. Team Liquid now with their first proper gun run. There's no MAC-10s, no messing around at this point. Just the Krieg on Elige and a full array of utility. And this was the moment. You love to see it, man, but you hate it if you're a Liquid fan, I suppose, as we will get into now the first proper gun round.
The first proper gun round comes at a cost because both teams have very little residual. As Guardian looks toward the top side of alt middle as well. Similar setup. Kerrigan doesn't quite go on to the AUG this time. M4's plenty. He's looking for a similar position to shot. And he shot toward Kerrigan. See if anyone pushes back out. Nitro is going to take the lead. But once off down, they'll have to back away. That'll buy a little bit of time. And FaZe not so eager this time to get rid of utility. So despite that Liquid do get Banana, they proved that they can still hold the lines from within the site, and they don't really, other than a single Molotov, use much utility at all, so they can delay them late, but it's going to be a commitment. They're already in the site. Kerrigan forced off the oranges. One, pre-fired by Nitro on the way around the corner. Wolaf tried to go back through the smoke once more, and look at that. Molotov onto that position at Ruins this time. No chance he gets the same shot.
Surely lightning doesn't strike twice in this particular occasion. They're trying to beat bomb site once again. They've got the advantage. This time, Olaf did not get the opening kill. They might be forced to save here, which is fine. It's early on in the game. You've got a 5-on-4 against Reset here as well. It's better to keep 4 players up with all the weaponry than try and go for this retake, which is very unlikely to go in your favor. So there it is, Team Liquid answer back straight away. What a dramatic fashion as well. 5 players survive. And it is Kerrigan playing that B side. Maybe that's a strategy. You want to kind of focus on him. And the fact Olaf's AWPing as well, they can make him useless with the smokes. Well, apparently not according to the last round, but this is much more what they had in mind. Execute fully, get the bomb planted, and win out in the post-plant situation.
So much more saving early in the halves. The bell rings currently, and it just has to do with how quickly you can be broken down. So the CT's keeping 4 up, go immediately back to weapons. We have another gun round in succession. And it gives one more to the bonus should FaZe fall shy again this time. When does Guardian go aggressive? That's the question. He's been so passive toward top of mid because they've been aggressive on Banana twice, and then if he wants to, he can step out. If they get lured into that, he can absolutely punish them.
It's one of those things where you have to get in the zone first. You need some resources, a bit of momentum behind you before you get the freedom, before it feels like you're giving the round up. Once again, going for the fast-paced banana control. It's so good by Elige. Oh, Olaf Meister though, the flick. And Kerrigan to back him up. It's actually a chance now. FaZe have full control here, and it's going to funnel back towards middle. Team Liquid will have to try their luck on the other side of the map.
You can see what Olaf was doing too. He knew that Elige was forward of the flames. Unfortunately, Nitro, trying to come to his aid, got caught out in transition. Supporting his teammate. Nico still inside of the site. They've covered off Arch on the Liquid side. They're gonna wrap around. Guardian, timing is everything. Switches out of it because he wants to get a support nade in place. That's exactly when he had his chance to strike. He will get one. Crossfire with Nico on the box, and he drops down, goes hunting for Twists. Who knows he's close. 15 HP, can't find him. How close? That's twice. Good reaction, but not ready for Kerrigan. No chance he was ever gonna win that round considering the positioning, but man, oh man, how lucky was Nico to survive?
I can't believe he actually did it. That's impressive. Twists in those sort of scenarios looks impossible for him, but he's got the skills to actually pull that sort of round off. Not going to happen though. Take him down before he could really scale out of control. Here's Olaf Meister. He had to make that pick. Once they lost the first kill, they had to react. They had to get some map control in their favor. They can't rest in their laurels here, and it's a good response from FaZe. Still on the double orbs. One more buy remaining on either side. Whoever wins the next one is going to be sending their opponents towards that eco territory. They're sending 3 players on the CT side now to B. They have been struggling there. They want to show extra presence and not allow Liquidus to walk in and take Kerrigan down after isolating Olaf with the AWP.
So Kerrigan pushes. They absolutely take banana control this round. It's been gifted because Liquid's got other ideas. Back over toward the apartments. Clever positioning from Nico. Outside of the railing so he can drop off immediately. Kills one, drops away, only takes 25 damage and finds yet another angle to take out Twists. That's a big kill to find because Twist on entry is such a problem for teams so often. And It's Nitro this time, back to old habits. He used to be incredible in that position as well.
They're actually going to book it back towards the B bomb side. Rain isn't there right now. The smoke comes down in spawn. He won't have much to say about this. There it is. He's going to have a real tough time now actually doing anything about this at all. He hasn't got the flashbang to push, but he has got the balls. He'll go through, taken down, and that should be it now. Nico and Guardian don't have much to say. As the bomb we planted, is there any more utility? Luckily, there's not, so they'll have some vision, but 3 players to find and a bomb to defuse. Luckily, they're both relatively healthy, and they have 2 smokes. Might be worth a go here.
Nitro's gonna wait this out. Role defined. No one peeking aggressively toward Ruin, so he has to consider that as well. It's gonna be a Ruin CT take. Split support. Want to try and establish a crossfire. Full aim from either directions, but that's not going to work. Liquid punishing FaZe immediately back, and that takes the money down to almost nothing on the CT side. Fantastic start for Team Liquid on Inferno.
Yeah, this is back and forth, but it's favoring Liquid quite dramatically now. It's round number 8, and the only player of any sort of cash is Guardian. He's got just shy of $6,000. The rest of them hovering around 2K. Nico, it looked like this sort of play from him was one of his classic moves where he'd get multiple frags. Sure, he got 2. I don't think he wanted to drop off there. As Nitro answers back, it's the rotating players that get absolutely smacked down by him, and that led to the round victory for Liquid. It's going to be the full eco for FaZe at this point. USPs, 1 CZ, no armor, no nades, pretty much a full gimme round to Team Liquid here. On the T side of Inferno, this does not bode well for FaZe at all. Just a note as well, where 8 rounds in, Guardian's 1 and 5 on what's usually one of his absolute best maps.
Part of that is that there hasn't been a lot of aggression toward the A site. So in each round that he's had the op, it's gone toward Olaf.
So that's the problem, though. They need to get him looking a little bit more dynamic, right?
Exactly, and that's why I asked, when does he go aggressive? Because he's been so passive and hasn't had a chance to really shine.
That's why they're stacking B right now. They've had so many problems on this side of the map. They've put every single player they have towards the B side. As Liquid, unfortunately for FaZe, will look to finish up at A. This really isn't ideal. You can see they've got 1 anchor in the form of Nafly, waiting for the pushes as his teammates head towards quad. Calling doesn't get much better than this. If you walk into an open bomb site, you know you've done your job correctly. Read the situation well. Oh, I say that though, they are changing plans, Matt, and heading over to that B spot. They're going for the split here, so they still should win the round, right? But going through spawn could be a little bit troublesome.
Could be. The problem is that they didn't check the A site. If someone even went that direction, they would quickly realize it's wide open. They're still not looking to library either. Recovery from Nitro. The fact that they've cleared those 2 in CT spawn and not lost a single player means they can actually pinch these 3. So it shouldn't matter so much about the stack, but absolutely they have to consider it, as Taco does. Oh. Nico, that confused Taco as well. The silenced USP. He didn't know where the shots came from. Kerrigan and Nico get kills as well. This is down to a 2-on-2 with 12 seconds left. Bombs inside of the site. Thankfully, it was not on Elise when he went down, but Kerrigan's at new box. He's got to hit him. Get the plant just barely at 4 seconds. And Nico can't do anything about it, but he can. Oh, catch him in the open, spotted him. Knows he wants to get toward Emo, knows he is in Emo. Twists. He has the HP advantage, but Nico's got the angle.
A full eco victory for FaZe. You can see what it means to Nico. Showing a bit of BM there towards the end as well. Once again, the crowd riled up. That's pretty unbelievable there. Liquid, they get the first 2 kills. They walk into the Lion's Den still and get punished by those USPs. They had no idea, and they fluffed their lines, I'm afraid. Instead of using the buddy system, they're panicking, not sure where to go. And you're right, Matt, they didn't check out A at all. It is B that's prevalent at these full-on stacks on a bomb site. That's such a bitter pill to swallow. I can't believe FaZe pulled that one off.
It would have been so simple. Just send 1 to library. Even if your plan is still to wrap, take a peek in the site. So 5-3, and this brings money back over to the FaZe side. Full eco win is remarkable. This calls for a timeout immediately as a result of it. And unsurprisingly, we go back to the double up setup for FaZe. It all started out as well with that USP, that double from Nico. You could see it. Taco had no idea where to look. First shot comes in, Taco has no idea which corner it was. He'd already checked the right side, but he wasn't convinced by it.
What a finish as well. Excellent work. Now we got a game on our hands. We'll see the double orbs out again. This Guardian has been slow so far, but looks like he's finding his confidence now. That deep peek towards middle. See how it affects Team Liquid here. Luckily, Twist did get the bomb down at least, with 4 seconds on the clock. So he gets that down, but still, a Deagle for Naf, a UMP for Taco, and they're going for the apartment burst once again, but it's Nico who's so good in his position. He's got players in front of him, he's down 3. And Nitro will finally shut him down, but it's too late. FaZe are gonna tie things up surely with the eco coming in.
Nico's coming alive. That's 7 kills over 2 rounds. He sits on 13 total, top of the scoreboard. We're only on the 10th round.
Well, yeah, it was Pimp that mentioned on the desk, if he has one of those games like he has been all tournament, he looked stunning yesterday. If they can find that form once again for him, it might be a foregone conclusion. He's looking so powerful right now. Once he gets the AK in his hands on the CT side especially, there's not many players that can outduel him. Carrigan on the AUG, Olaf and Guardian still the snipers here. Rain with the AK as well. And Guardian, he'll get one with the HE, but taken down with the P250. Remember, this is pretty much a full eco. They do nade that AWP out of position, I believe, so I don't think it's accessible for the terrorist side. We'll have a look.
Elige, though, could come out from Boiler. It's gone over toward Nico. It's in front of him at the atrium. So he still has access onto it.
He's picked it up.
Yeah, he's gonna take it back. And even with Twists looking for it, Rain immediately punishes him. So this should be pretty straightforward at this point. Bombs inside of the smoke as well. They'll even add a second one to make sure that stays the case. And good luck picking that up. Taco, 5-5. FaZe right back into it off the back of an eco. And this double op setup continues to be impressive. It's something, by the way, that they used to run all the time with Nico holding the op at B, and it never seemed to work out because he was always either too aggressive or too passive. He never seemed to get the timing right. Now with Olaf on it and Nico going off as he is on the rifles, this is looking super good.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You've got Nico considered one of the best riflers in the game. That's for the chickens. Pull one out from them later. And
here we go.
Now he's getting in the zone, is what I'm talking about. Once he starts running this form, he gets that confidence that's really difficult to take away from him.
You can't quite hide here from the bottom of mid as well as you used to with the old bench. Your gun barrel still sticks out, but no one's peeked it. So he has free range. He hears Twists go down. He knows Taco is jumping toward Boiler. Nearly found him as well. Guardian has Naf at the bottom of the stairs behind him, and this is a slaughter in favor of FaZe. The whole time, Nico stayed alive. Lige thought he could get back to middle, and now it's just Taco. Nico, all he's gonna do is watch and executes. Fired early, but still gets the kill. 6-5, they take their first lead of the game.
Nico with another hat trick in the round. That's gonna be, yes, indeed the lead with 6-5 on the scoreboard now in favor of FaZe. Nico taking the game to them. That's what we're talking about. You need a bit of residual cash, some resources available to justify those risks taken towards the bottom and middle, and you can see Liquid weren't anticipating that whatsoever. It's been a very passive game from the FaZe boys so far, but Nico starting to come alive. He's actually got 17 kills after 11 rounds of play. Those are scary statistics there. And another eco required for Liquid. Didn't get anything done in the previous round. Deagles, Tech 9s, Taco's got some armor, but it looks like FaZe should find another round as Navfly gets tagged up by the AWP at the very start. He goes down to 20 HP.
Head shows. Yeah, tagged low already. Olaf couldn't quite get the kill, but they'll still give up an Ana. They know that there's no money available. Nade goes back out. It landed just shy of going all the way around the... It was the bounce nade off the skybox, just shy of going around the wall. So no damage from it as Kerrigan waits passively. Perfect crossfire setup. And in they go. Go down first, good dink. Olaf tagged by that, can't go back out, but they still have Kerrigan at new box. He'll be able to spot out with the AUG. Twists. This is a decent smoke. They isolate Olaf on purpose, but he still just absolutely blunders them with the AWP. They jump on top of him almost, and he still hits the close no-scope. It was a decent smoke. You could see what they wanted to do. Isolate Kerrigan, render him useless, and maybe get a bomb plant out of it, but he's having none of it today, Olaf.
Yeah, that's actually really impressive. He kept the AWP up, and that's one of those positions. If you give a eco player an AWP there, towards back right, they can absolutely win the round. So that's an important shot to hit. It will be FaZe with 7, Liquid of 5 here. Another bite available for the North Americans as the Creek comes out once again. They have all their grenades required, but they certainly have dropped off the pace here. Remember, they were 5-2 up. It's now 5 clean rounds in a row for FaZe as they reach maximum loss bonus. My God. See you later, Nitro. And we go to round number 13 here. A boost. You can see them starting to swell in confidence now. This is what we were missing from FaZe at the start. They were so tentative at the beginning. Few rounds here on Inferno, but after that eco victory, it's been nothing but success for them. Olofmeister does spot the head of one of the Liquid players there, but doesn't connect with it. He'll fall back as he receives a couple of grenades in his direction as well. Flashing over, more defensive line here. HE doesn't quite reach the boys on the banana side of the map. Just a slight tickle of the Etion Elige there as they'll fall back. They've got the banana control. They've taken information away from the CTs here and fall back towards middle and try and get the same done there. If they can push the players back towards the bomb site, that would be ideal.
Guardian waiting it out, goes aggressive, and this time catches Nitro. He sets and gets ready for Elige to walk around the corner next. Oh, wow. Had him with a nade in hands. Elige panicked and jumped away. The nade didn't go anywhere as a result. Guardian couldn't hit the shot. Rain spotted on the windowsill. Taco can't get out because they've rotated Guardian back around. That was his chance to try and strike. Remember, they still have Nico waiting at the atrium. He's got Elige down. He closes out on Naf. And if I'm not mistaken, Nico now has 19 kills.
Yeah, he is having one of those games, I'm afraid, Liquid fans. He's hitting every single shot. He's got a nice mixture of calculated aggression and nice crossfires on the bomb site. It's round 14, and Liquid have not found almost any kills in the last 5 rounds or so. All of these have been convincing FaZe. The victories on the maps, we'll see whether the UMP, the Krieg will be enough. There's no bomb plants going down. It hasn't been planted in 5 rounds. So the loss bonus will only get you so far. Guardian once again going for that initial pick, not going to find anything. Flashed off the position, but still hungry for more. 19 kills after 13 rounds of play. That's pretty unbelievable. On the other side, we've got Nitro at the top on 9 and 9. Now for the bottom 4 and 10, and Guardian working his way up the ranks now. He's got 8 kills, 7 deaths. So he was on 1 and 8, I think. So nice to see him bouncing back in a dramatic fashion. A few smokes remaining now for Liquid. In terms of map control, Banana is absolutely under the control of FaZe. They can leave Olofmeister with the AWP there. It means they can have 4 players now on the A side of the map. Makes that execution here incredibly difficult as Taco sets up with the smoke at the end of the apartments.
Now burrow back in toward the pit. Rain the one to do so. We've seen Nico play so effectively in that position. This is a whole new look, a whole new setup for FaZe on this map, and it's paying off. Guardian's gonna get up on top of the box AWP. Slight gap in the smoke on entry. He can certainly figure out where they've gone, but the flash timing's excellent. Fortunately, they don't account for Rain still below. And this is unbelievable. Kerrigan, 3 on the AUG, shut down by Guardian. An incredible performance yet again from FaZe.
I think he peaked as they were going for the full execution. Org spray down, hopefully scoped in as well. He gets 3 in the back, but that round was already over. It was Nico. Rain is going to town, finding the headshots. You see Rain in the pit, waiting for Taco to drop down. And indeed, this is where Kerrigan comes up. They got no idea. The scope is out. The spray connects. 3 kills for Kerrigan. Absolutely beautiful stuff. A player that's redefined himself with that weapon. Maybe a blessing in disguise with the patch made, as he seems to be playing much better this season with that particular weapon. As we go into round number 15, that's 6 rounds in a row now for FaZe.
That's more, it's 7.
7?
This was a 5-2 game, and it was pretty much all Liquid at the start of it. They had the economic advantage, and ever since that eco came in, which Nico started off inside of Ruins, it's been non-stop relentless from FaZe. There's not even anyone in double digits yet for Liquid, which is completely the opposite of how this started. So FaZe respond. Liquid have to talk this out as we head into the last round of the first half. Mirage comes up next. And FaZe picked it. This was Liquid's choice. And we know Liquid are decent on Mirage, but we know FaZe are amazing on it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, man. The nades sort of connecting there. That's better. Means those SMGs and Galils will be a lot more effective at this point against the 2 players waiting. I think they'll just go for the B execution here. That's where they found their initial success. They were bullying the B bomb site, if you remember. It looked way too weak for FaZe. And all of a sudden they started playing 3 players there, which is what they're doing right now, and they came to life. A good adjustment there. You like to see that. FaZe working out the problem as Olofmeister looks to line up multiple kills once again. He wants to push a bit closer. He wants to get the first kill here. There's so many players on the other side. He does hit the shot, but Nitro doesn't go down.
Couldn't quite punish him either. He gets back towards CT, so the op's still in it, but Nitro pushes through. He knows that the rotation can't be on their way yet because of the fact Olaf was still being so aggressive. Taco, he gets another, but watch out, it's Kerrigan again on the AUG. Another triple, and he shuts them down, and Emo twists, pulls it back. And we find ourselves with the advantage finally for Liquid. Bomb, however, is not yet planted. Thankfully, it's grabbable. Smoke goes down early. That will allow him to try and plant, but Nico's having none of this today. He's gonna go through. Second smoke, luckily, is still in place. That allows Nico a chance to spray into it, but couldn't spot the planter. He's got the HP advantage in this, but again, 2 always outweighs 1. They can trade off this, they can play the angle. Nico has information on only 1 player so far. He'll expect the other to be at Ruins, given that he wasn't peeked from Banana on the way through. Self-preservation smoke. He's even watching to see if Nitro's pushed all the way through to get behind him, but it's Twist that holds on. Got the kill on entry that really allowed the bomb plants and pulls back the round 9-6 half.
Wow, such a back and forth first half there. It is going to be 9-6, but Team Liquid posting a much needed round at the end of the half just to build their confidence back up. That wasn't bad at all. And we'll take a break and be back with the second half. Do not go anywhere.
Liquid started off in style to take a 5-2 lead, but on the back of both Kerrigan in many situations with the AUG, but most notably Nico. FaZe pulled back to take it 9-6. We started off now with Liquid going on the defense. This is their best chance to pull back the map that they chose in the veto. Mirage is next.
You're absolutely right there, Matt. We switch everything over. FaZe clan now on the T side. They're going to have the 2 smokes and an HG. Suggested could go for the fast banana approach here with that single high explosive grenade. We'll see which way they're inclined. 5 players heading towards the T steps. It might be happening here. It's Elysia and Nitro to defend the ensuing angry FaZe clan. The nade connects and Elysia's in trouble. But there is a decent one in response. That might slow them down somewhat here.
Not any individual damage of high significance, but it did certainly do a little bit to everyone. Elysia ready on Ruins. Flash coming out from inside of the chapel means that he can fall off of it, but the smoke in his place, he couldn't quite get the peak he wanted. So they may have to concede a bomb plant on the back of this. Smoke duration still certainly favors the fact that they can get that down. Olaf goes for it. Nitro desperate to try to spray into the default position. Having done so as well, he immediately backed all the way to the doorway so Elysia could support him while he reloaded. This could be huge from Kerrigan, though. Look at Taco's position. He thinks he can get away with this. Kerrigan's certainly ready for it. They have to expect that someone is, surely, with 5 players still up.
It's going to be the retake beginning right now. A decent start from Nitro. He'll get Rain, and Taco gets the timing spot on there, waiting for his teammates to take the aggro away, and it's back and forth. Not clear who's coming out on top just yet. Guardian's got 2 low HP players in front of him. He dispatches of both of them, and it will be FaZe picking up the pistol on the T side here and posting double digits first. Now remember, it was FaZe that lost the pistol in the first half. They forced bought in the second. Are we going to see the same approach here from Liquid? I can confirm we absolutely are. CZs, Deagles, 5.7s, P250s, pretty much every pistol available to them. They're going to have the smokes and HEs as well. Now, would they want to go for a stack kill or treat it like a gun round? I would say the latter. You want to just try and hold off the SMGs and use the smokes, run the clock down, and try and set up crossfires with those upgraded pistols here. An absolute chance for Liquid, but FaZe hunting for that 0-3 start.
Nade bounces, no one up close.
Oh my God.
That's pretty significant. 59 for Rain, 62 on Nico, both with full armor. That poor chicken was murdered in that as well, Henry.
Rest in peace.
If Valve cared about the chickens, they'd remove them from the game. Guardian and Rain ready to go. Smoke's already dissipated. They've cleared Cubby with a Molotov as well. Pre-fire toward Arch. No one there for Rain to find. They're gonna go through this as well. Smoke down in front of Library suggested they might, and watch the flank. Nitro, I can see it on the radar, was sneaking in behind them. All three had their attention turned elsewhere. So now this also reveals they're in CT. The problem for that is the two, good response, inside of the site have to do something about it. They go and get aggressive. It's the right call. Naf got both those kills and picked up a gun. He could have easily cut off the bomb working back in from CT.
Now, do they think there's any more presence here at all from the CTs? It's actually not, but they have not checked the sites out here. Nico and Rain coming in from CT spawn. It's Twist and Taco who are going to go for it with just the pistols here towards the top of B. But that smoke down slows them down. It's stifling as they'll hold by the half wall here. Looks like Carrigan might actually go down. He's got his work cut out for him. He'll get one at least, so that's fine. That should confirm the victory here. But his AK is available for Taco.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. There's a smoke on the ground that he just picked up, so he can actually smoke himself off to get it. He doesn't even need to do that. He smoked CT, and no one was peeking, but he's gone. So he gets an AK. That's a significant weapon for a 4-spot CT side to have for the next round. They're not going to have much else to work with, in all fairness. But one gun Inferno in the right spot or the right stack,
yeah,
it can be significant.
There we go. You're right. They are going to be eco next round, but Taco, he'll have armor, an AK, a smoke. He can drop a deagle as well for a teammate. That actually gives them some sort of fighting chance. Remember, FaZe won a full eco in the first half. This is not going to be the full eco. You've got a rifle and a deagle here, and a smoke. So it's not a foregone conclusion. Taco will presumably keep the AK, considering he's got the armor. He'll throw the deagle in the hands of Twist. That's the absolute best player to throw it to. He is an absolute deadly deagle king, as we'll see ourselves head into round number 18 here. A couple more HEs purchased, going to try and find that initial damage. Liquid very good at the utility game as well, but time is running out now. This should be another round for FaZe, but like we said, a fighting chance here with the little they have. And 5 players make it 4 towards B.
Toward Boiler, early pressure. No one really on that side of the map at all, given that stack toward B, but they're going to realize it now, rotate over. Twist was the only one in A. Fortunately, I don't think they're going to quite be there in time. They're already heading out from the apartments. Olaf running gun on the MAC-10 takes out Elige. He was first in the rotations. Nico looking excellent as always. Twists immediately on entry. Kerrigan sprays back in. That should be pretty much everything they need for the round. Guardian even trying to catch them falling off, but they've gotten far enough away that it's not free kills available to him by any means. Olaf's really the only one that can't afford to go hunting on 3 HP. The rest certainly can justify it. Taco's AK would certainly be something worth taking down. The rest of it, it's really more lost to gain. Taco's aware of that too, so look how far he's gone. The gates and the dam were the 2 teammates. They've been let out, so now the flood fully on up toward him. They've got time that they can get to him still as well.
Already much he can do with this one. He's hoping to hold on to that AK, but Rain is on the hunt. He's only got the MAC-10. Even if he goes down, it's not a huge deal. He's definitely going to check this back right position. Taco, oh my goodness, it's a wonderful shot though. To keep himself alive and take the AK into the next round. That's going to help them out quite dramatically. He can drop the AWP now if they want it for Nitro. I think that's going to be the call. We'll see if that's the way it goes down. Taco does indeed buy that weapon. See Nico, 117 ADR. Currently has 22 frags as we head into round number 19. But yes, Nitro does get dropped the AWP, means he gets a nice reservoir of cash for himself built up going to the second half. He's got 2,400 left over, so it's good to keep the AWP financially stable.
Massive setup again toward A. Early spam on B, mind you. Liege, that nade, oh, it's gonna go a little bit far, I think. Olaf did take a ton of damage from the Molotovs, though, trying to crawl toward the wall. How passive Liquid are being, though. Only any sort of position to try and get information is Nitro on the AWP. Crossfire potential, but smoke already on CT. No boost either, so counter smoke because they're going to need something in response. Minute 4 with that smoke out as well. There's still 3 more on the CT side. Certainly is going to go to the B side of the map as well. So that single smoke early, no response. They've actually got the perfect fake on this because Rain threw one after. Elise is down. There's nobody else in the site. Liquid's going to have to save this already.
That's a little bit anticlimactic, isn't it? We get right into the next gun round, ready to go. 1 kill, and they have to save. It's going to be 13-6. They are pretty much rolling over this point. It's fine. It's obviously not got to the point of no return just yet, but FaZe just look way too comfortable there. Of course, it's Nico to find the only kill in this round, and they can have a little hunt here as well. We can see Rain once again at the other side of the map, and they know the player's going to be towards the A site, in the pit, graveyard, on the bomb site, and whether they want to hunt them down, that's the main question. They are starting to head in that direction. They've still got a good 15 seconds of hunting time here. They can just throw grenades in towards the pit. They've got a Molotov as well, which is perfect for this scenario. Karrigan arrives on the scene. There's the Molotov I spoke of, and it will be thrown on the site. I don't think that's going to hit anyone. I take it back, actually. There is a player, and it's Twist who has to extinguish the flames. This is actually quite an exciting moment. Liquid need to keep everyone alive there. Rain gets 1. Can he get the second? It's Olaf Meister that will chime in, and that's actually very beneficial for FaZe now. 13-6, and they've removed a lot of money there.
So 3 to go for FaZe to steal Inferno away from Liquid.
Since that full eco victory for FaZe map, Liquid have posted a single round. That's actually insane. They're a team that I've said this in the past, if they ever do lose in a dramatic fashion to a round they really shouldn't have any business losing, you can see them just drop off. They are emotionally sometimes weak, and they need to take more timeouts, I think, get their heads back in the game.
I'm not mistaken as well. Liege has 2 kills since that time. Yeah.
Oh,
Make that
Nico.
1 more now as he gets Olaf, but Nico's responding as he always has in this series so far. He's got 25 kills. 11 more than anyone else even on his team, let alone Team Liquid. So Rain back over toward B, but they'll grab the bomb and everyone else heads toward A. In fact, Guardian's gonna give that over to Nico, so AWP can get aggressive. Speaking of Nico, 10-3 for money, and that's before this round even ends. So they've got lots to work with on the FaZe side. Pallet position at Arch, trying to catch them off with an angle, but smoke down. Twisted now knows he can spray in toward the top mid. Does so, but no luck. Certainly not luck like Olaf. Taco gets the MP9 back on the site. Doesn't really have the range game, so he's going to have to pretty much play a peek after they commit to the site. If they commit to the site, they've only got 1 there. This is a sales pitch from Karrigan, because everyone else is snaking back over toward the B site. Nitro alone with the op.
Still possible here for Liquid, but such a challenging round for them as the flashbangs come out. This is essentially a fake from Karrigan. He is alone on the A side of the map. He might just call, but look at Taco's position. He's actually behind everyone at the B site. He's got the MP9, the most ineffective weapon, but he actually makes it work. Will he get the third raid with the nade out? This is unprecedented. How has he survived? Taco getting it done.
Rain must have stood with the most dumbfounded look on his face. 2 teammates down, and he has a nade out against an MP9. Any weapon, even a pistol, you would have the range advantage. Smoke goes down. Karrigan has 1 HP. Liquid's going to pull this back. Double op already held as well, which means that goes into the next round. Forget the fact that Karrigan won't get money. There's enough of it, so more to lose in having those 2 ops.
That was so sneaky. I only just spotted it before it was going down. Taco with the MP9 saves the day, gets all 3 kills, gets the AWP. That's exactly what Liquid needed. That's almost a replica of the full eco victory FaZe had. So a bit of luck here now for Team Liquid as well. Will it have the same effect? Will it light the fire beneath them and get them back in this game? You can see they have no idea. Rain called the nade out as he tries to recover the situation. If he gets that kill with the rifle ready, maybe there was still a chance, but overall, Taco brings Liquid right back in this game, and we go to number 21 here, Guardian with the AWP, and that's actually cost FaZe a lot of cash here.
Molotov doesn't quite bounce far enough. Clear all the way behind barrels, but they've been given it for free. Kerrigan, meanwhile, back over toward the apartments, has a nade in hand. It's the forward position for Taco. He'll hold inside of the doorway. Where's that? Be my mistake. I think actually, there we go, because he's outside the hallway. He's on the windowsill. Even better to watch top mid. Single smoke already deployed towards CT. Quick peek, no commitment. Bomb still down toward T-stairs, but they are getting it closer. The fact that they've gone so close to the mouth of the B site, Rain's gonna make a bit of noise. Try and force early rotations, which, to be fair, Liquid have fell victim to twice so far in this half. This time it doesn't seem to be the case, but Naf's gonna have to nail a shot before they even get around the corner, and he can't. Smoke blooms before they peak, so they go slow on the back of the approach. Smoke for Elise. He wants to force them to around the corner, wants to force them so they can get a headshot toward water where Nico is now. If they go over the top though, he has no counterplay for that, which is exactly what they do. As Nitro gets one in return, it's still a 3-on-3 with the bomb planted.
Another difficult retake here. Nitro the AWP is far from ideal. They've got Taco coming in from the B area once again. That's Banana as Guardian patrolling spawn, but he has to be careful of the aforementioned position. It's Taco now with the timing. He was so good at evading Kerrigan before, but Guardian way too aware. Nico hits another stunning headshot, and Twist surely has nothing to say about this.
Guardian, I think he saw his arm before he peeked. Bomb too far gone, but no money left over, unfortunately. He can't pull this back, as Olaf's even waiting for him to exit. That's the problem with Ruins. There's really no way out that isn't going to be confronted, and Olaf wants to chase him down and fully punish him. Twist will get that. That should get him far enough away. At 30 HP, he survives. 14-7, and you can tell he didn't know where to go, so he went back where he was to make sure that that gun is held no matter what.
They have to buy here, Matt. They're 14-7 down. They've just been reset. They've got a single M4. Twist couldn't even get an AK or an AWP. So they're gonna have to just do whatever they can. He's dropped a FAMAS. They definitely are buying here. Tactical timeout called. Yes, I think that's an appropriate call at this stage. Nafly's got a P250. What is his stat, Matthew?
FaZe have lost Inferno LAN 4 of 6 maps, so that's actually impressive, because that would suggest that the favor goes toward Liquid, as should the veto suggest, given that Liquid picked it, but it seems to be going against all odds right now, because 14-7, as you say. Timeout call for Liquid.
So they've got an MP9, a FAMAS, another MP9, a P250, and a single M4.
This is it. This is the map.
It has to be really. FaZe won't get a better chance to close this out early than this one. No snipers available, no deagles, P250s, MP9s. It really isn't looking good for the North American hope here in the semifinals. Round 22, this is where FaZe can solidify their chances in the best of 3. Remember, as Matt pointed out, this is Liquid's pick. Mirage should be going in favor of FaZe.
Ooh, good
as
tag.
the tag comes through. That's Taco down to 17.
Always a risk to run across the top of mid, especially when you've got Guardian on the other side. So not the start they would have wanted. That's one of the 2 rifles as well. See if that changes hands or not, but right now Taco doesn't have anyone else to give it to, really. Plays solo toward the arch side. Twist, meanwhile, has the other M4. The stack for the lesser weapons on B. Twist, positions everything. Finds 2, falls off on the angle, but not down into the pit, so he can still counter off the position from apartments. And the incendiary will force Rain to go back toward the top of middle. Bomb is in the apartment halls, by the way. It's got a long way to go to rotate back. They'll play patience. They've got a minute still to work with, and they leave it to Guardian to spot. Because they would have expected at this point in time that with Twist getting 2 of those kills, he would fall in the pit, which means he could go toward the AWP. He could go toward Guardian, who's made the jump, by the way, to get across to the rooftop. This is decent movement from Guardian.
Oh, the noise, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Taco should identify that. Nitro doesn't need to peek on it. They just have to support Twist. He doesn't quite have an angle on tonight. Nico, excuse me, but spots him in the end. That forces him away. They now know exactly where he is. So Nitro has to support the angle, more importantly, toward the balcony.
This is so terrifying. Your FaZe there with Guardian boosted up. Are they falling back as well?
Smart smoke from Twist. He was actually expecting them to push through. He wanted to drop immediately in that and get lost, because that way if they wrapped around from quad as well, he had somewhere to stay alive, somewhere to keep himself in the equation. Nico is going to wrap back around though. Eli's gone down. This opens up options. Guardian nails it. A second as well as he falls in. Nitro's down, and Taco has to hold his breath and hold the round, but Rain trades off him immediately. All on to Naf on an MP9. Bomb planted. The force five is going so well from Liquid's perspective. Naf still has a chance. Close range, but it's the wrong call as Guardian gets another on the op.
That's so sick. Guardian is just the king of snipers right now. This form is incredible. So patient, Matt. How does he hit that first flick? Then the second as well, as he's falling, hits the ground, takes another down, and wins out on the 1 versus 1 as well. It doesn't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen, and that's going to be FaZe pretty much securing the first map. It's 15-7. There's still no money available for Liquid. It's a mixture of SMGs, pistols, and utility. There's almost no chance they win this round. Even if they do, a matter of time before FaZe closes out.
So play a similar angle this time, but with a slightly lesser weapon, the UMP. FaZe with a chance to absolutely dominate. Keep in mind, Astralis, I'm sure as many of, certainly everyone in the arena knows, but for those of you online, is already into the grand final. Close match with Fnatic. That's a bitter pill to swallow, having been up 15-9 on map 3.
One of the best games of the year, that one. That was really fun to watch.
Said he thought it was the game of the year.
I think it's up there. It really is. And it's always Astralis that seems to be involved in those games. It's pretty remarkable. I was thinking Team Liquid Astralis back at the Major was one of the best maps we'd ever seen, but it keeps getting better and better. It's been a great year for CS. Not a great map, though, for Liquid so far. They are still alive, though. 2 players holding towards B. As Olofmeister is on the precipice of the bomb site. He's ready to go in. He's waiting for that smoke to go down. And will he get the first kill? Certainly not. That 5-7 at close range is deadly and takes him down, but they can't recover the rifle.
Deagle at play for Naf. Has to be perfect. Falls off. Pillar plus statue to swing around. He's softened them off. That should be an easy conversion for Elige onto Nico at least, but pretty straightforward to take him down afterwards. Smoke, that's going to buy time. They have to go for this. There's no point sitting at the bottom side of Banana, but they'll check and see if there's anyone close up first and foremost from Taco's perspective. Guardian is, and hasn't seen him yet, but he's certainly ready. Yeah, same exact battle.
Taco can't really do anything about it. He needs his teammates to take the attention away. That's what Taco's waiting for. He might have timed it well again, though. Remember, they've got no kits here. As Guardian holds in the corner, he's actually dropped a smoke as well, just to actually give himself another fighting chance here. But, oh, he gets one before he goes down. That's so unfortunate for Taco. I don't think they can win anymore. Matthew, it looks like the first map is done. Taco with the AWP stands no chance here.
Had it the first shot, he might have kept his teammate alive. He does still have it down to 1-on-1, but the bomb's too far gone. He's really playing for pride. It's FaZe. That goes 16-7 on Liquid's map choice. That gives them the first map of the series and a chance to close things on Mirage. Great performance from Nico, but everyone else stepped up at times as well.
Absolutely so. Remember, this was Liquid putting their best foot forward at the beginning. They were 5-2 up on the T side. It ends 16-7. It all comes down to that full eco victory. Liquid just crumbled from that point. They didn't take enough timeouts. They couldn't find their form again. And it's just that one round that started this massacre on Inferno. That's Liquid giving up that map pick. And it's going to be Mirage next, and that's where FaZe are favored as well. This could be a 2-0. We'll take a break and be back on the analyst desk.